The UBP X1000ES is Sony's premium 4K Blu-ray offering, a posh stablemate to the infeasibly fine UBP X800. In terms of performance and value, the latter can be considered one of the best value UHD Blu-ray players available, so clearly this more expensive sibling needs to be rather special to warrant a premium. A cursory glance would suggest that the decks are cut from the same cloth, thanks to a shared chassis design and stippled matte finish, but there are some significant differences. The UBP X1000ES incorporates a high-end 192K Hz 32-bit DAC and offers a gold-plated phono analog audio output on the rear. It also has a more substantial power supply, plus an FL status display. Even its feet have been upgraded, to provide better isolation. Less obviously, the UBP X1000ES supports all the major smart home control protocols, specifically Control 4, Savant and Crestron. This alone could be a clincher if you have a custom-installed AV smart home system that you want to integrate the deck into. In addition to the widely spaced phono audio output, there are two HDMIs, one offering full AV, the second audio only. The idea here is to provide a pure audio HDMI feed for those that need it. There's also coaxial and optical digital outputs, USB, IR remote port and wired Ethernet as an alternative to the onboard dual-band Wi-Fi. Audio output options are comprehensive. PCM can be output from the digital outputs at 48 kHz, 96 kHz or 192 kHz. There's also a DSEHX audio upscaler for low bitrate audio content, should you still have some knocking around. Usability is identical to the step-down UBP X800. The homepage offers quick-tiled access to featured apps, which include Amazon, Netflix, YouTube, all of which stream in 4K when available, Rakuten TV, BBC iPlayer, Demand 5, BBC News and Sport and Spotify. There are thumbnails for connected USB devices, media servers and screen mirroring. The player instantly discovered my QNAP and Twunky server. Wireless connectivity is good, with Bluetooth plus LDAC, and Miracast is available for compatible smartphones. The player is compatible with 3D Blu-ray discs, even if your new 4K TV isn't. Disc loading seems reasonably fast, with discs going from tray to menu in just over 35 seconds. When it comes to UHD playback, this flagship really knocks it out of the park. Images are supremely detailed, test patterns play with absolute fidelity and no obvious artifacts, while color gradations are smooth and band-free. The deck also does a fine job upscaling regular HD Blu-rays. Perhaps oddly though, the player only supports regular HDR. There's no compatibility with Dolby Vision, which you might think would be a given, for universal appeal, at this higher price point. Oddly, Sony's incoming, low-cost UBP X700 model does support Dolby Vision, yet Sony maintains there are no firmware plans to add DV to this deck. The player isn't compatible with the upstart HDR10 Plus dynamic metadata standard either. Is this a big deal? It depends on your display. If you own a top-end 4K HDR TV, capable of a high peak luminance, the benefits of any dynamic metadata HDR system are actually negligible, as the set will not or only rarely need two-tone map, which is the process by which a TV brings content outside of its luminescence capabilities down to a level that it can handle. The player interpolates UHD with 4:4:4 subsampling. By default, the UBP X1000ES sends the maximum data from disk to screen, based on the capability of the connected receiving device. For example, when playing a 4K 60p disc, if the sync receiver permits, then the player will send resolution at 4K 60p, deep color of 12-bit and Pro Mode 4:4:4. If this isn't possible, then the amount of information is reduced in the following priority order: resolution, frame rate, HDR, deep color and color space. Use a high-speed 18 Gbps HDMI cable for the best possible picture quality. If you use a lesser 10.2 Gbps HDMI cable, the player can output 4K at SDR, an 8-bit with 4:2:0 color subsampling. As an ES music player, the DAC is fine. The DAC used here is a quality item, offering an analog output that's crisp, airy and musical. It does a superb job with rock, a beautifully engineered back in black, AC/DC, sounds sensational, and lighter acoustical pieces alike.